This episode of The Bill and Callie Show is brought to you by Ray's Movers and Self-Storage, offering storage solutions and all your moving needs. The Green Witch Juice Bar and Cafe for delicious, natural foods, smoothies, and juices.
Well, Jay, welcome to our show.
Well, it's good to be here.
With Jay Birky, who is the chaplain and the program director at the Porter County Jail. Mm-hmm. We're so excited to have you on the show because we've been huge fans of what you've been doing here. And
appreciate
just amazing work. And so what we came here to talk to you about is pulled pork sandwiches and pies.
Yeah, well, I can point you in the right direction.
Oh, hold it, wrong index card and wrong Birky. I'm sorry.
The other Birkies.
Okay. Oh, geez. Okay. Oh, you're the jail Birky.
There you go.
You're the Birky
I'm the jailbird
that landed
Birky, yes.
in jail.
There you go.
So, you're the one that landed in jail. Your mother must be so proud.
Yes.
So, actually, we'll talk about because we got a comment about on a post that we did just recently. Okay. So, welcome again to the show. And what we'd like to hear about is your background and where you came, what you did before you got in trouble and got in jail.
All right.
And then we'll talk about life in jail.
Sounds good.
Great. So, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I pastored a church for about 32 years. And I have 4 children. I have 8 grandchildren at this point in time. I have my youngest is getting married actually on Sunday, so we're in marriage mode here, in wedding mode. So, but my wife and I just celebrated on June 1st. Celebrated our 40th anniversary.
Oh, congratulations!
So, thank you.
How beautiful!
Thank you.
What an accomplishment
that
is.
And we celebrated. I had to do a wedding. How does that sound? I had to perform a wedding. So
perfect.
Well, you got me beat on all counts. The anniversary, the grandkids.
Well, it's got to be good luck to have somebody get married on your wedding anniversary.
Well, I hope so. Yeah. I hope we can look at it that way.
Yeah,
what a neat celebration! That is absolutely amazing.
So in 2002, the team of people came and talked to me. I had been coming into the jail on occasion just to minister to the people in the jail and so on. And I received a call and they wanted to meet with me to talk about the possibility of my thoughts in regards to having services at the new jail. That was when, I guess it was in 2001, and they were anticipating the opening of this facility in 2002. So we met at a little restaurant down at Couts, and they actually asked me to come on the transition team and give them some counsel on how to set some things up here and so on in regards to religious services. So that kind of set things in motion. And I started as a volunteer in 2002. I volunteered probably close to 20 to 25 hours a week. And it was all part of what our elders at the church felt like was a ministry we wanted to be involved in with the jail and so on. Well, things kind of rapidly moved with that, and ultimately I moved into a role of a couple years later where I was the chaplain of the sheriff's office, which included not only the jail but the patrol side as well. I started to do death notifications, things like that. I started to ride with our officers and I performed marriages for our officers and funerals of their loved ones and so on. And so things started to move a little quicker, and was still working in the jail itself with the religious services and so on. When Sheriff Reynolds was reelected this last time, he came to me and he said, I want you full time. And so he said, I don't know what you need to do about the other part of your life, but I want you full time. And so I went back and we talked about it, our leadership talked about it, and felt like this was something that I was supposed to do. It was a calling. And I'm just starting my fifth year full time, and with that full time came the increase of my role. I now am the program director as well too, which I oversee all the programs that we have here at the jail, and I still do all the other stuff with the patrol side. I oversee the programs and also our case managers that we had, which Rachel, of course, has been on the show before and has told to talk a little bit about her job as a case manager. Right. So that's a little bit our history, what leads us up to now.
Amazing. So let's talk about some of the programs, because I want to leave some time, because the culture here is a bit different. Not that I spend a lot of time in jails, but I've got to explain to our listeners, because they probably think I spend a lot of time in jails. I probably should, but that's beside the point. But it's different than what I expected. And we'll get to that in just a bit, because I want to tell about the a tour that Dave gave me recently, Dave Reynolds, the sheriff. And but let's talk about the programs, some of the programs that you set up, having to deal with some of the issues in Porter County. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think everybody is aware of, at least most are aware of, that we've had an opioid problem in this county as well as throughout the country.
Yes.
One of the dynamics that we have with Sheriff Reynolds here is that Sheriff Reynolds is very progressive from the standpoint of trying to help individuals and so on. A lot of your sheriffs throughout the state and probably throughout the country have the attitude that we're here to house these individuals and feed them and then kick them out when the courts tell us it's okay to kick them out, so to speak. Sheriff Reynolds is not like that at all, and he and I share the same philosophy of that, in that while these are our neighbors, these are our relatives, these are the folks that we go to work with or attend church with, whatever it might be, these are our community people. Now, why would we want to not do anything to help them and give them tools for when they get out? Because they're going to be right back where they were in regards to our community. They're going to be our co-workers and so on. So what can we do to give these individuals tools to keep from being back here again? And frankly, to keep from losing their life to things like fentanyl and so on. So that's kind of what stirred us in regards to the programming and so on. Now, we already had what's called a chemical dependency and addictions program. We've had that since about 2002, 2003. And that is through Porter Stark. They send their therapists over to help us with that. And that's been a good program. But in the last probably 5 to 6 years, we've developed some more programs that we're excited about, and we've seen some good things from.
And one of the programs, I think, that is faith-based is the God Pod. Mm-hmm. I got kind of a snapshot.
I was going to say, that's kind of the slang term for it. We call it the Biblical Life Principles Pod. Yes.
Yeah, let's stick with God Pod. It's easier for me to remember.
There you go.
It's shorter.
Yes. And believe me, it takes time for me to remember things, so God Pod is...
Yeah, it's easy to remember, you bet. Yeah, we started that about 4 years ago, and it was patterned off of the jail up in Grand Rapids. I had a program, a program they'd been running for a while. They had piloted theirs off a program actually in the state of Washington, if I'm not mistaken. So we brought that here, adapted it to, adjusted a few things to fit where we were and so on. And it's been running. We've had about 130 men go through that in the last 4 years. We've had some real success stories. We've had some that weren't so successful. The whole idea, again, is to get people to change the way they see life. When these individuals, a lot of these individuals have never grown up in a home that has any sense of function to it. And so they have been drawn into other things because of that. And so we get individuals in here that I always tell them that the jail represents boundaries. And when they don't have internal boundaries, they'll get external ones, and that's what this jail represents. So our goal is to help them build those internal boundaries so that when they get out there, they make those right decisions. And I understand the whole science of what addiction does in regards to the brain and so on. But if we can at least get them started on a right track, the success rate's got to go up. And so that's the way we approach that.
And there's also another programs that that again clearly that address the second issue in Porter County, and that's domestic violence.
Sure.
There's a series of programs here as well that I think you partner with someone
Correct.
outside as well.
Mm-hmm.
You want to describe that?
Sure. Our domestic violence program, we have one for the females we've had for a while, and we partner with the Caring Place with that. And it's been a really good partnership with them. We, about 2.5 years ago, we decided that, you know what, we not only need this for the females that have gone through domestic violence and so on, we need to go for the males as well too, that often are on the other end of that, but at the same time, there are some domestic violence that they go through as well too.
Absolutely.
And so we started that. We have 2 classes a week, one for the females, one for the males. And like I say, it's facilitated by the Caring Place, and it's been a real positive. The inmates really enjoy that program. They speak highly of that program.
And one of the things we'll get to here that is Dave invited me out about a year ago to take a tour through the jail and over various topics. One, school security. He wanted me to see the command center that was in its
Right.
infancy back then, and we just got to look at during one of our last shows with him.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I witnessed is a complete opposite what I was expecting. The culture here is not, it's completely, it's family. It's, it's the easiest example I can remember is Dave called out to this guy and said, "Joe, call your wife today?" And he like, "I'm going to." He said, "You need to call your wife." It's like a father telling a son, "You need to call that wife." And we went on, and there was other instances. It's like every person we ran into that was in part of the programs that he was showing me, they knew him, they were on name basis, and he knew exactly what was going on with them, and it was like a father concerned about his kids.
Yeah.
That's the way I felt. It's it's amazing, completely amazing atmosphere, and that truly is what it's all about, creating these programs that help them succeed, like a father would or a mother would with their kids, and
to feel like part of a community.
Sure.
Because they are, and
Exactly.
they need to know when they get out, they can still be a part of that community.
Right. And we try to celebrate accomplishments here. I mean, when they go through this class, for instance, the domestic violence class, the last class, we celebrate. We have some cookies and pop, and we celebrate that accomplishment. The same way with a CDNA program. When they go through, that is a 10-week program. When they get finished with that, we have a graduation, and we have cake and pop and things like that. So we want to celebrate their accomplishments as well.
Of course. I think that's beautiful.
And that's treating them as individuals. When I take people through an orientation here to come in here as a volunteer or whatever, I talk about this isn't a zoo here. These aren't animals behind these doors. These are individuals that have made some mistakes, and we have to treat them as individuals that have made mistakes. Even though some of them made some pretty severe mistakes and some done some bad things, these are still people that we're dealing with, and we need to always keep that in mind.
Right. And one of the things as we begin to talk about these programs, I want to bring up, and I know you probably are kind of shy about bringing this up, but I'm going to bring it up.
Absolutely.
You were given an award just recently.
Yes.
I mean, just not any.
We were lucky enough to be there
This
when it
isn't
was given to
a
you,
Cracker
too.
Jacks type of award. It is a pretty big time, and we're not talking about a leg lamp. This is a major award of all kinds. Jay, you were just recently awarded with the National Award for Chaplain of the Year.
National Sheriff's Chaplain.
National Sheriff's Chaplain, which we were there when it happened.
Yeah.
And I could tell you, I've always felt, since we've known you, that someone needs to recognize that guy. These phenomenal programs.
Yes.
And I can't help that, of course, Dave is providing excellent leadership, but this nurturing family type of environment exists here. The concern, we want to make sure that you have a life when you get out of here. I can't help but you've had a strong hand in that. And
well, thank you. I've had a hand in it, but I've had the opportunity because of the administration. And I always have to give the administration credit, all the credit, because their encouragement to me to do everything and the ability to do everything that we do here. I mean, that is so encouraging as someone that really has a heart for people and wants to see people do better. So I credit all that. I mean, sure, I was blown away by that award, and even blown away to be nominated for that award. But it's an honor. It sure is, and it's an honor to work for this administration.
it is. And I called back when Dave originally asked you to come full time. And can you imagine anyone ever telling Dave no?
Well, that's true. You have to figure out how
Let's
you're
be
going to do
honest.
that.
I mean, really, seriously. Yeah, you really got to sit and think.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You probably went back to your elders and said, "Do you want to tell him no?"
Well, that's right. I was going to say, I'm not sure how we do this.
So, but the county, I got to tell you, is so glad that you accepted this challenge.
very
I'm
much.
so
Thank you
glad
for
that
that.
you're here, and Porter County is very blessed to have you here.
I appreciate you saying that. That's for sure.
And I will say that I always looked upon you when I look at these programs. I did the tour and had you on our show, that you were one of the warriors trying to fight some of the big problems that this county's had. And a great fight. And doing it in such a way, positive way, and creating change that creates positive effect, that is phenomenal. So we do want to present you with something.
We've already given it to you, but officially on camera.
There we go.
The merch.
I know
and
this
some wonderful small town coffee.
This may not stack up with that plaque that you got.
Yeah, that's true.
In certain corners,
it
they're
means
very
a lot.
small corners, that they look at this as
It means a lot. Thank you very much. I appreciate
no problem. So enjoy that, and then when you have your morning cup of coffee,
Will
make
do.
sure the sheriff's, because the sheriff doesn't have one.
Not
that.
yet.
Oh, that's good. I'm going to have to make sure that he
That's
knows
right.
I have it there.
That's right. You got the merch, baby.
I'm on vacation next week, so maybe I can get I can have
you
some of that
go.
coffee.
I would keep a
Wonderful.
close eye on that. pal.
Yeah, I would guess.
Yeah.
I would
I'm
guess.
just
That's
saying.
it's a hot commodity. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So that, listen, we appreciate everything you've done,
Yes, and taking
and we
time out of your
appreciate you
schedule.
more for coming on the show
Absolutely.
and spending some time with us. And gosh, we just wish you the best, and good luck with all the success in your personal life as well.
Have fun at the wedding this
Oh, you
weekend.
bet. You
and
bet. Love on those
enjoy
grandkids.
grandbabies.
You betcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You betcha.
so thank you much, Jay. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Well, I
And-
appreciate being on there. I appreciate your show. I appreciate you trying to get word out on different things as well too. Thanks for that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. And with that, we'll wish you all a great rest of the week, and goodbye for now.